Hello, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruby. So in this video I'll be showing you how to cut and sew a pencil skirt. I'll also show you how to create a back vent and also how to attach a lining to the vent. If this sounds like what you want to know how to do, please don't go anywhere, keep watching. So guys, as you can see, our fabric is already unfolded and we have our lines marked. So this is the waistline. From this line to this line is 8 inches, and then this one is the hip line. So from the waist to this line right here is the full length of the skirts, and then this extra we have here is for the folding. Well, you can make it 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches depending on your preference. So because this fabric is unfold, I'm going to divide our waist and our hip measurement by 4. So the waist measurement is 31 and I'm going to divide that by 4, so that's going to give us 7.8, and then I'll add 1 more inch for the darts. Coming over to the hip line, the hip is 42 by 4 is going to give us 10.5 right here. So with my hip curve, I'm going to make my connection. Now if you don't have a hip curve, you can do a freehand skirt. So I'll take this hip measurement, which is 10.5 all the way down. I'm going to mark 10.5 all the way down. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do at this point is to join lines with a straight ruler. Now what we did right here is okay if this is a straight skirt, but if you're making a pencil skirt, you have to come in right here by 1.5 or even 2 inches depending on how shapy you want the skirt to be. Now coming over to the hip area, I'm going to come down by 2.5, or you can come down by 3. So what I'm going to do at this point is to draw a straight line from this 3-inch point right here all the way to the 1.5 inch that we marked at the hem area. So this ruler is not long enough, but I'm still going to find a way to make sure it is a straight line. But if you have a longer ruler, please by all means use that. Now remember, this is allowance for the folding, so because this is in slant, I'm not going to make it straight. If not, it will affect the fabric once we fold. So coming over to the folding part, what I'm going to do is to draw it out a little bit, just this way. So guys, this is what we have. Now what we're going to do is to add your seam allowance depending on the seam allowance you want to add to your skirt's pattern. I'm going to be adding 1 inch to this all the way down from the waist down to the hem area. I'm going to take a ruler and connect the points that I marked. So guys, this is our new line and I'm going to cut on that line. So this is the front piece. I'm going to use this part to cut the back. So I folded another material and I gave an allowance of 2 inches. You can give an allowance of 3 or more or less, but I just want to use 2 inches for this. This is going to have a vent at the back. So I'm going to take the front piece and place on this back. So what I'm simply trying to do is to place this on the 2-inch line that I marked on the back piece. So once that is properly placed, I am going to cut with my scissors. So guys, this is what we have. Coming to the back part, I'm going to determine how high I want the vent to be. the back vent, I would like it to be 21 inches, and I measure my 21 inches and mark right here. The next thing I would do is to mark a 1 inch starting from this point all the way to the waistline. So this 1 inch is going to be the zipper allowance. So from this point where our 1 inch stopped, I'm going to draw an angle. So I'm going to cut on the new line square mark. So at this point, I'm going to slit this open. So I'm going to use the front and the back to cut out our lining. So guys, as you can see, this is the front part. I already cut out the front part. The only difference between the lining and the fabric, the main fabric, is that the lining is a little bit shorter than the fabric. So I did the same to the back lining. The difference is just like 3 inches or 4. You can make it 2 inches, but what you don't want to do is to let your lining show while you work. So from this point, I'm going to mark 1 inch, and I'll do that all the way down. So I'm going to fold from that point where I marked my 1 inch. I would use some pins to hold it in place. So I'll cut on this line. Getting to this point, I'll mark 1/4 inch down. I'll mark 1/4 inch down at this angle also. So once I get this corner where I marked my 1/4 inch, I'm going to turn my scissors and cut towards the area where I marked my other 1/4 inch. Like, I hope this makes some sense to you. So can you see? This is exactly what you are going to have. As you can see right here, this one is a little bit longer than this other side. Never mind, it is perfect that way. So I cut out the space. This is like 3 inches. Okay, you can make yours 4 or 2.5. This is a bandless skirt, by the way, so you're going to see why I am adding this at the waist area, but this is totally optional. You can just decide to sew yours without adding this. So as you can see, I used my skirt to cut it out so it has the same shape with the skirt. I would fold this a little here, and I'll go over to the machine and run a stitch just to join this to the lining. So this is our main fabric. As you can see, at the waist area, I pressed on a visible interface. This would make the waist area to be a little bit stiff. So to insert the dart, I'm going to mark 4 inches right here, and I would mark 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm going to come down by 4.5, and then also mark 4 inches right here. So I'm trying to make a connection. To sew, I am going to fold this way, and I'll sew from this angle and sew this all to nothing, just like what you're seeing here. Coming over to the back to insert the dart, I'm going to measure 5 inches. Remember, I measured 4 inches for the front area. I'm going to leave out like 1 inch allowance for the zipper. So as you guys can see, that has been nicely sewn. So this is exactly what it should look like. So this is a back piece. I have the right side against the right side, so I'm trying to join both. So you should make sure that your right side should face the right side of the other part of the back piece. So remember, the allowance we get for the zipper is 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to mark 1 inch. This is our zipper, the zipper we're going to be using. So I'm going to place the zipper where I want to add the zipper, and I'm going to get the length of the zipper. Measuring this, I have 8 inches. From this point, I'm going to measure 8 inches, and I'm going to come up a little bit and mark 7.5 inches. So I'm going to start my 1 inch measurement right here. So remember, this is the corner where we're going to have our vent. So getting to this corner, I'm going to measure 1/4 inch right here. So once I draw my 1 inch line up to this point, I'm going to slant this way and connect it to this 1/4 inch mark that I made earlier on. So I'm gonna go over to the machine and sew from this angle straight down to this point, and I'll sew this to this point. So this is the lining for the back piece. I'm also going to place the right side against the right side. So I'm going to come down by 9 inches, and also remember that our zipper allowance is 1 inch, so I'm going to measure 1 inch at this point. I'm going to sew this down to this point. Getting to this angle, I'll leave about 1/4 inch, and then I would draw a straight line from this point to this point. So I'll go over to the machine and sew from this line, and once I get to this point, I would stop. So here at the back, I have already sewn this nicely. So I getting to this point, I didn't sew all the way to this point. I left about a 1/4 inch. If you want to know how to read a tape measure, I'm going to leave the link to that in the description box below, or you can just click on this card right here and you're going to see how to read a tape measure properly. I have a video dedicated to that already. So guys, if I open up this is what it's going to look like. So what I'm going to do right here is to insert the zipper. This is a black zipper. From this iron right here, I'm going to give an allowance of 1/2 inch. So I'm going to turn one part of the zipper to face this way. So I'm going to use a contrasting thread to hold it down. I'm going to take out this thread once I'm done with the stitches, but I'm just using it for you guys to know that it's not going to be permanent. And I think you should do this, especially when you're working with a stretchy fabric. It helps a lot. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the skirts. So this is what it's gonna look like. I'm going to take this to the machine and stitch. So I'm going to stitch from this point to this point. So I fixed the zipper. I also have a video dedicated to how to fix an invincible zipper. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. So I'm going to join the front part to the back piece. Like always, I'm going to place the right side of the back parts to the right side of the front parts. So I'll go over to the machine and sew on a 1 inch mark. Remember, I gave 1 inch for the side seam, so I'm going to sew 1 inch on both sides. So coming over to the lining, I'm going to join the right side of the back lining to the right side of the front lining, and I'll go over to the machine and join this on a 1 inch mark. So this is what it looks like. Our skirt is already taking shape. This is the main fabric, and then this is the lining. So what I'm going to do here is to flip this over to the back, and this is what we have here. So I'm going to slide the main fabric into the lining in such a way that the right side of the lining faces the right side of the main fabric. Like, I hope it makes some sense. Okay. So from this corner, I'm going to join this to the skirts, to the main fabric. So from this angle, I would attach it to one side of the skirt, and I'm going to go over to the machine and sew on a 1/4 inch mark. So coming over to this other part of the skirt, I'm going to take this side and take also from the lining. I hope you can see what we're doing. I'm going to take this and then join to this part of the lining. So I'm going to sew this all the way down. When I come back, I'm going to show you guys what we did. So this is what our vent looks like. As you can see, the vent still has a hole right here. So what I'm going to do is to put my hand inside and hold that part where we have a hole. Let me turn this inside out so you see what it looks like from the inside. At this corner right here, I'm going to give it a little cut just to give this some ease. So coming over to this angle, I'm going to cut this open. I'm not going to cut it all the way to the seam, okay? I should have done this earlier on, but I missed that part. I am cutting this to help this relax. So I can just open up this this an iron. So I would go to the machine and sew on this line to close up that little hole. That has been nicely sewn, guys. This is what it looks like. This is going to lap and close up this area. This is the back side of the skirts. So I'm going to go over and give this a nice press. I'm going to show you guys how to attach the upper part and close up the skirts. So guys, this is the front and then this is the back. To take care of the waist area, what I'm going to do is to join the lining to the main fabric. So I'll go over to the machine and I'll join the right side of the fabric to the right side of the lining. I'm going to do that just this way. So I'll go over to the machine and sew this all round on a 1/2 inch mark. So this has been sewn together. So the next thing I would do is to join the zipper parts. So I would fold this at this angle and I would go over to the machine and run a stitch from this point till I get to where the opening stops. So this has been nicely interlocked. I did that with a black thread to avoid frills. I gave 1 inch allowance for the folding, so I'm going to fold on a 1 inch mark. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you've not done that already. Feel free to share this video with your family and friends. Until next time guys, keep crushing it and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.